All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Running with Wolves. So, today we're going to talk about a slightly scary situation, which is TikTok getting banned? What's going on here? I have had so many of you guys SOSing me, and it's killing me. Your guys' messages, you're like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, should I be jumping ship? What's happening? So, we're going to talk all the dirty details of the TikTok ban. And we're going to talk about if you should still be marketing yourself there, if you shouldn't, are people jumping ship? Is the algorithm changing? What do I do? But before we get into that, let's just bring the fear mongering down just a little bit. I have some beef, honestly, with the online space right now. That's really pissing me off because as soon as this went through the House and it was voted on that TikTok should be banned and it got moved to the Senate, the immediate thing I started seeing on TikTok was like, TikTok just got banned. Here's what to do now. And I'm like, hold on. TikTok is not getting banned. And the problem with this is that, and this is honestly just what pisses me off about like unethical marketing, is that these people are using the TikTok ban as clout to get more views to then profit their business and funnel everyone somewhere else, essentially. So, number one, let's talk about the reality of the situation, and then I'll talk about my perspective. Now, I am by no means an attorney, a political commentator, none of those things. I have read many articles about this. I feel like I have a general understanding of kind of what's going on. So I will share those perspectives with you. And that is that this obviously got passed by the House, and it still needs to go to the Senate in the states to be voted on. Now, the articles and the interviews that I consumed about this topic and about actual Senate members talking about this topic was that there was going to be a very in-depth investigation around this before it was even brought to a vote. And I also want to remind you guys, this has been going on for the last 4 years. I feel like every year something like this happens, and it actually got to the Senate before and got blocked by the Senate. And I can't remember the actual representative's name, but there were several representatives that I consumed their interviews where they basically said, this is not something that we think is actually going to pass. This is something that, happened in the past. It was blocked because we don't believe in this and don't feel like it's ethically aligned. So that's that, number one. Number two, if this, let's go worst case scenario. Let's say that the Senate actually passes this and the president actually signs this bill. This is not a TikTok ban, even though people are trying to say that it is. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. This is you have to separate from your parent company bill in 6 months, or we will then ban TikTok. Now, TikTok has the opportunity to basically just sell its US operations to another parent company. And I think that there's already a lot of conversations actually in the works about this. Now, does that mean that the app is going to stay the same? Is it going to mean the algorithm is the same? No. To be totally honest, I think unfortunately, if this does get passed, and this is part of my perspective on this, the app is definitely not going to be what it is right now. The algorithm, quote unquote, they're going to try to improve it. It's really going to make it worse. It's not going to be the same as it is, right? So there's that. But is it going to completely go away? No. I genuinely believe that a complete TikTok ban is very unconstitutional because the data, this all comes down to data, literally. They're just trying to prevent essentially the quote unquote Chinese government, which just kills me, they're trying to prevent them from being able to pull our data and persuade the American public, essentially. That's the purpose behind this bill. Do I agree with it? No. Am I going to commentate on it? No. On the marketing side of things, the reality is that they have 6 months to separate from their parent company. If they don't, the bill goes into effect and essentially TikTok is banned. Like I said, I don't actually think this is going to happen. In the event it does, let's say TikTok gets banned, you have 6 months to actually build up your audience elsewhere. So you have the ability to build up other platforms to funnel the audience you have on TikTok to email, to grow your email list because you actually own your leads there, right? which you should already be doing all of these things anyways. So to me, the only people that are really freaked out about TikTok getting banned are those that are only relying on TikTok to market and create sales for them. So like for us, for example, 90% of our inquiries come from TikTok. However, we already have a great sized audience over on Instagram. We have an email list where we're creating converting content every single day. So that in and of itself also drives sales. We would then basically just find another visibility platform. We already know what creates visibility for our audience. We already know the topics, the formats of content, the hooks that they love. So we would go and do that somewhere else. That's the beauty of having the right marketing and sales strategy and understanding marketing and sales principles and frameworks. They can be applied to any platform. And to be totally frank, this is something you guys have to anticipate. Think of it this way. Social media platforms will continue to be ever evolving. First, the hot platform was MySpace. Then it was Facebook. Then it was Instagram. Then it was TikTok. Now Threads came into the mix just ever so slightly. It obviously hasn't really taken over like TikTok or any of those things, but people are excited about it, right? Social media platforms will continue to evolve over and over and over again. And if you don't know how to evolve with them, it's going to constantly be difficult to sustain your momentum when it comes to growing platforms, growing audiences, and growing your sales. That's why it's so important to have a really clear understanding of marketing and sales, again, principles and frameworks, how to create visibility, how to get more eyes on your content, how to engage your audience, turn them into raving fans for your brand, and how to convert them into actual sales. So, like I said, I don't actually think that this is going to happen. I think it's very unconstitutional. I don't actually think it is. But worst case scenario, if it does, you have 6 months to work on getting your audience elsewhere like you should already be doing. Let's plan for like worst case scenario. The worst thing that could happen is it gets banned. Here's how to prepare yourself for quote unquote, like just in case TikTok gets banned and what you should be doing. Number one, you should constantly, if your strategy is not doing this, you're not marketing correctly. You should constantly be funneling people from TikTok over to another platform like Instagram or LinkedIn or your email list or your website. TikTok should not be the place that they find your brand, consume your content, and buy from you. It might be the place where their interest is piqued and they go to your website or they inquire about working with you, but it's not going to be the reason why they buy from you. The other thing that you should also be doing is you should be working on growing your email list. So like, for example, this is something we're actively working on. So you can host a free webinar, a masterclass, offer a downloadable, do a giveaway, any of those things to really get people to give you their emails and build your email list. And you should be consistently email marketing in a way that does not feel gross or salesy, but also not fluffy and something that people are like, why am I on this email list, right? So work on funneling your TikTok audience to other platforms, work on funneling them to your email list. And then last but not least, you also need to work on strategically repurposing your content across a lot of different platforms so that you can make sure that you are able to convert them into a sale while making sure that the content consumption experience feels unique and feels exciting. It does not have to be a copy paste, and it definitely shouldn't be a copy paste when it comes to repurposing content across different platforms. However, you cannot put all of your eggs in one basket on one platform. For example, today when I'm filming this, it's April 3rd. This is the 4th time that Instagram has glitched in like the last 4 weeks. I was just going to talk about this on my stories today, and then stories are down. If you are relying on one marketing platform, you're putting all your eggs into one glitchy ass platform basket that you're relying on to create sales for you. It's unrealistic. You have to be able to show up on multiple different platforms, but you have to make sure that the content feels unique, but also feels cohesive to still create those sales. And remember that obviously each platform has, a different purpose. So for a platform like TikTok, like I said, if TikTok does get banned, you need to find a new visibility platform. So Pinterest is great, YouTube Shorts, anything that's a search engine, you need to be showing up on. You also need a warming and converting platform. So Instagram is a warming and converting platform, email marketing, LinkedIn, depending again where your target audience is consuming content. I always recommend at minimum people have 2 marketing platforms that they are currently showing up on, and then they also have their email list that they're growing. So hopefully that helps you guys just kind of relax your brains. Honestly, when it comes to the TikTok ban, I am not worried. I don't think it's going to get banned. And worst case scenario, if it does, you will be okay. And this is, I think, a very important lesson to most business owners, that you need to make sure that you are consistently marketing on different platforms, funneling your audience to different platforms, not relying on one platform to create sales for you. And if you don't know how to do that, I want to have a conversation with you. So you can head to the link in the show notes. You can DM us on Instagram. If you have any questions, we would love to help you. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.